All right, so buckle up, everybody, because today we are diving deep into the world of automotive semiconductors.
Oh, yeah.
You want to know about the global market trends, the cutting-edge tech, and what it all means for the future of driving.
You've come to the right place.
Absolutely.
It's an industry that's just evolving at lightning speed, and frankly, it's pretty mind-blowing to see how these tiny little chips are revolutionizing our cars.
I think about it, like even a few years ago, a car's electronics were pretty basic.
Right.
And now we're talking touch screens,
Yeah.
advanced safety systems, cars that practically drive themselves. It's crazy.
And all of that is powered by semiconductors.
Yeah.
They're not just the brains of a modern vehicle, they're the nervous system,
Yeah.
the sensory organs, the whole shebang.
Yeah, they really are. And I think before we even get into the nitty-gritty, can we just give our listeners a sense of like how many chips we're even talking about here?
Yeah, it's a lot more than you might think.
Okay.
So a standard car today can have around 100 semiconductors, but a high-end electric vehicle, you're looking at over 1,000.
Over 1,000. That's insane.
Yeah.
It's no wonder this market is projected to nearly double by 2032, hitting a whopping $719.7 billion globally in 2024.
It's huge.
So let's unpack why that is and what this semiconductor explosion even means for drivers like you listening right now.
Well, one of the biggest drivers, no pun intended, is the rise of electric vehicles.
Oh, absolutely.
This shift from combustion engines to electric motors requires some serious power management,
Yeah.
and that's where semiconductors come in.
So it's not just about like adding more chips.
Right.
It's about developing new types of chips that can even handle the unique demands of electric vehicles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Traditional silicon chips have their limitations, especially when it comes to high power. Imagine the amount of energy surging through an electric car's battery and motor.
Oh, yeah.
You need semiconductors that can handle that efficiently without overheating or losing energy.
So this is where these new materials I keep hearing about come in. Silicon carbide and gallium nitride.
You got it.
Okay, tell me more.
Silicon carbide, or 6-tricky, is especially interesting.
Yeah.
It can withstand much higher voltages and temperatures than silicon.
Okay.
Now, what does that mean for you?
Yeah, what does that mean for me?
More efficient power conversion,
Got it.
which translates to longer ranges for electric vehicles.
So that's how companies like Tesla are squeezing those extra miles out of their batteries.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
It's not just about battery size, it's about having the right chips managing all that power.
Right, it's got to be orchestrated so well.
It does.
Okay, what about gallium nitride? Where does that fit in?
Gallium nitride, or GaN, is known for its incredibly fast switching speeds.
Okay.
This is key for things like fast charging,
Oh,
getting you back on the road quicker.
gotcha.
It's all about efficiency, speed, and pushing the boundaries of what these vehicles can do.
So it feels like we're witnessing like a materials revolution within the semiconductor industry, and it's all being driven by this global push for cleaner transportation.
Absolutely.
But who are the major players in this silicon showdown?
Well,
Is it a global free-for-all, or are there some clear leaders?
it's definitely a global race
Okay.
with established giants and ambitious newcomers all vying for dominance.
Great.
You've got players like Infineon from Germany, NXP from the Netherlands, and Renesas from Japan.
Okay.
These companies have been in the automotive game for decades.
So they have the experience,
Yeah.
but are they adapting to this new landscape, this demand for these specialized EV chips and all this new tech?
They are investing heavily in cyclogan and other cutting-edge technologies,
Right.
but they're also facing stiff competition,
Oh, I bet.
particularly from China.
Yeah, China's role in the semiconductor industry is something I've been following closely.
Yeah.
What's their game plan when it comes to automotive chips? Are they simply trying to catch up, or are they aiming for something bigger?
China has made it very clear they want to be a major force in semiconductors across the board,
Okay.
and that includes automotive chips.
Right.
They've set aggressive targets for domestic chip production.
Mm-hmm.
One report I saw mentioned a goal of sourcing 20 to 25% of their chips domestically by 2025.
Whoa, that's a bold move.
Right.
What's driving this push for self-sufficiency? Is it purely about economic competition, or are there other factors at play?
Well, the recent chip shortage exposed just how vulnerable global supply chains can be.
Yeah.
Countries, especially China, want more control over their destinies when it comes to this crucial technology. And it's not just about avoiding disruptions, it's about becoming a leader in innovation
Right.
and potentially setting the standards for the future.
So it's a strategic move with huge implications for the global market.
Absolutely.
It sounds like this is about much more than just building cars. It's about controlling the very technology that will define the future of transportation. It's a high-stakes game with a lot of moving pieces, and the implications go far beyond the automotive industry itself.
It does.
It touches on everything from national security to economic competitiveness to the future of innovation.
It really does.
So we've got this electric vehicle revolution driving a materials revolution in semiconductors, and we've got this global power play with China emerging as a major force.
Right.
But let's not forget about all the other cool stuff happening in car tech.
Right, we've only just scratched the surface. We
Yeah.
haven't even talked about the smartification of cars.
Oh, yeah.
All those advanced driver assistance systems, or ADAs,
Mm.
that are becoming increasingly common, things like lane departure warnings, automatic emergency braking, adaptive cruise control.
Features that seem straight out of science fiction just a few years ago.
Yeah.
And those are just like stepping stones of the holy grail, fully autonomous vehicles,
Exactly.
self-driving cars. It's the future.
It is, and all of these features require massive computing power.
Yeah, I bet.
We're talking sophisticated algorithms that need to process data from multiple sensors in real time, making split-second decisions to keep you safe and on the road.
It's so much data.
It is.
This is where those AI chips I've been reading about come into play, right?
Yeah,
Things like NVIDIA's Orin platform.
spot on.
Right.
NVIDIA is a major player in this field.
Mm-hmm.
Their Orin system on a chip, or SoCa, is designed specifically for autonomous driving and other AI-powered applications in vehicles.
Wow.
It's basically a supercomputer on wheels.
It's mind-blowing to think that the same technology that powers like our gaming PCs
Yeah,
is now being used to pilot cars.
right.
What's next? Are we going to see cars playing Call of Duty while they're stuck in traffic?
Maybe not quite yet.
Okay.
But the level of sophistication is only going to increase as we move towards higher levels of autonomy,
Right.
and that means even more powerful and specialized chips.
So it's not just about electrifying cars.
Yeah.
It's about making them smarter, safer, and ultimately more capable. And all of this hinges on the continued advancement of semiconductor technology.
Absolutely.
And it's not even just about like the individual features.
Right.
It's about how all these systems work together.
It is.
We're talking about a level of integration and complexity that was just unimaginable just a few years ago.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It is incredible to think about how much innovation is packed into those tiny chips,
Right.
and the pace of change is only accelerating.
Yeah.
But before we get too carried away with the future, let's take a step back
Yeah.
and talk about some of the challenges facing the industry.
That's a good point.
Because it's not all smooth sailing, is it?
No, it's not.
The market is incredibly volatile right now.
Yeah, it is.
The shift from combustion engines to electric vehicles is creating winners and losers.
Absolutely.
Some chip makers who were heavily invested in traditional engines
Right.
are now struggling to adapt,
Mm-hmm.
while others specializing in EV-related technologies are booming.
Yeah, it's true.
So it's a classic case of disruption.
It is.
The old guard versus the new innovators.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not just about keeping up with technology, is it?
No.
The chip shortage a few years back exposed another major vulnerability: the global supply chain.
Absolutely.
Companies realized they couldn't rely on just-in-time delivery anymore.
Yep.
And the geopolitical landscape is also shifting, with countries like China aiming for more self-sufficiency.
Right.
So this push for regionalization adds another layer of complexity to an already volatile market.
It really does.
It's almost like a global game of chess,
Yeah,
with nations vying for control of this critical technology.
it is.
It's fascinating, but also a little bit nerve-wracking to think about the potential consequences.
I agree. There are a lot of factors at play, and the stakes are incredibly high.
Absolutely.
But that's what makes this industry so captivating to follow.
It's true. Well said.
Yeah,
So we've covered a lot of ground already.
we have.
The electrification trend, the rise of new materials, the global competition and the challenges ahead.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just getting started. There's so much more to explore in this fascinating world of automotive semiconductors.
That's true. And what's even more exciting is that we're just at the beginning of this technological revolution.
Right.
The potential for innovation is immense, and the implications for the future of driving are truly profound.
Yeah, I can't wait to dive deeper.
Me too.
But for now, we'll have to pause here.
Okay.
Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive into automotive semiconductors,
All right.
where we'll explore even more groundbreaking technologies and discuss what they mean for the future of transportation.
We'll be back soon with more insights and analysis.
Until then, keep those engines revving.
Yes, yeah. You know, picking just one thing that excites me most about the future of automotive semiconductors is tough.
Yeah.
There's so much happening.
It's like being a kid in a candy store.
Exactly.
Too many delicious possibilities to choose from.
But what really fascinates me is the convergence of different
Oh,
technologies.
interesting.
We're seeing a blurring of the lines between automotive semiconductors and other fields like artificial intelligence, high-performance computing, even quantum computing.
Okay, that's a really interesting point. So it's not just about making better chips. It's
Yeah.
about integrating them into these increasingly complex systems that can do things we never thought possible.
Right. And this integration is what will lead to some truly groundbreaking innovations.
Like what? Give me an example.
Think about the potential of AI for things like predictive maintenance.
Okay.
Imagine a car that can anticipate problems before they even happen and alert you to get them fixed.
That would be amazing.
Right.
No more unexpected breakdowns or costly repairs.
Exactly.
It would just take the guesswork out of car ownership completely.
Exactly. Or consider the possibilities of quantum computing.
Okay, now you're getting really sci-fi on me.
I know it sounds like something out of Star Trek,
Yeah, kind of does.
but quantum computers have the potential to revolutionize areas like materials science. Imagine using them to design even more powerful and efficient automotive semiconductors,
Wow.
or to create entirely new battery technologies with unheard of energy density.
Okay, you officially blew my mind. Quantum computers designing car parts. That's next level stuff.
It is.
But let's come back down to earth for a moment and talk about China again.
Okay.
You mentioned their ambitious goals for domestic chip production.
Right.
How are they actually doing in terms of catching up to the established players?
They're making significant progress, and quickly.
Okay.
They're investing heavily in building up their manufacturing capabilities,
Okay.
attracting top engineering talent from around the world, and fostering a culture of innovation with government support for startups and research initiatives.
So they're not just playing catch up.
They're not.
They're aiming to become a leader in this space.
They are.
So it's a multi-pronged approach.
Yeah.
They're not just throwing money at the problem.
Yeah.
They're creating a whole ecosystem for semiconductor development.
Right.
That's a pretty smart strategy.
It is, and it's producing results.
Oh, yeah?
We're seeing Chinese companies emerge as serious contenders in areas like electric vehicle powertrain systems
Okay.
and autonomous driving technology.
Interesting.
They're developing their own advanced chips,
Yep.
and they're not afraid to challenge the established players.
So the global semiconductor landscape is becoming incredibly competitive.
Yeah.
And it's not just a two-horse race between the U.S. and China either.
Right.
Europe, Japan, other regions are also vying for a piece of the pie.
It's a global game.
It is.
Yeah.
What does this all mean for the average car buyer, though? How are these semiconductor trends going to impact their driving experience in the coming years?
Well, for starters, I think we can expect to see a continued increase in the number and sophistication of features in our cars.
Okay, more bells and whistles.
Yeah, more bells and whistles, more advanced safety features, more personalized infotainment options,
I like that.
and more seamless connectivity. Cars will become even more like smartphones on wheels.
I have to admit, the thought of my car knowing my favorite coffee shop
Yeah.
and automatically navigating me there on my way to work is pretty appealing.
I know, right.
But beyond those bells and whistles, what are the real game changers we can expect to see?
In my opinion, electrification is the biggest game changer of all.
Okay. You're a big believer in electric vehicles.
I am. I think they're the future of transportation, and I believe the pace of adoption will accelerate dramatically in the next few years.
Okay.
Better chips mean more efficient batteries, longer range, and faster charging times.
Yeah.
All the things that are holding some people back from going electric right now.
So you're saying that with advancements in semiconductor technology,
Mhm.
those barriers will eventually disappear,
Right.
making electric vehicles the obvious choice for most consumers.
Absolutely.
Okay.
As these technologies continue to improve, we'll reach a tipping point where electric vehicles become the clear winner, not just for the environment, but for convenience and cost effectiveness, too.
Yeah. Okay.
The writing's on the wall.
That's a bold prediction.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I'm starting to see it myself. The momentum behind electric vehicles is undeniable.
It is.
But let's not forget about the elephant in the room, sustainability.
Yeah.
These chips are becoming increasingly complex and powerful,
Right.
but they also require a lot of energy and resources to manufacture.
Yeah.
How is the industry addressing this challenge?
That's a crucial point. The environmental impact of semiconductor manufacturing is something we need to take very seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
The good news is that companies are actively working on making their processes more sustainable.
Oh, that's good.
They're reducing water and energy consumption,
Okay.
finding ways to recycle materials, and even designing chips that are inherently more energy efficient.
So it's about minimizing their environmental footprint at every stage of the process,
Hmm.
from design to manufacturing to end-of-life recycling.
Precisely. And there's a growing awareness that sustainability isn't just a feel-good initiative,
Right.
it's a business imperative.
Sure.
Consumers are demanding more eco-friendly products.
Absolutely.
And companies are realizing that being sustainable is essential for staying competitive.
So it's a win-win situation.
It is.
Consumers get more environmentally friendly products, and companies benefit from a more sustainable and ultimately more profitable business model.
Exactly.
That's great. And this trend towards sustainability is only going to get stronger in the coming years.
It is.
It's going to be a key driver of innovation in the semiconductor industry.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's a great point to transition to our next topic.
Yeah.
We've talked about the shift towards electrification, the need for more sustainable manufacturing processes.
Right.
But there's another significant trend shaping the automotive industry that we haven't discussed yet, the rise of connected cars.
Ah, yes, the connected car.
It's not going away.
It's a trend that's been gaining momentum for a while now.
Yeah.
And it's only going to become more significant as 5G networks become more widespread and the Internet of Things continues to expand.
That's right. It's not just about having Wi-Fi in your car anymore.
Mm.
We're talking about vehicles that are constantly communicating with each other, with the infrastructure around them, and with the cloud.
Yeah.
This opens up a whole new world of possibilities for safety, efficiency, and entertainment.
Absolutely. Connected cars can share information about traffic conditions, road hazards, and even available parking spaces,
Wow.
making driving safer and more convenient.
That's awesome.
They can also optimize their routes and routing styles to reduce fuel consumption and emissions,
Okay.
contributing to a more sustainable transportation system.
So connected cars have the potential to really revolutionize the way we think about transportation.
They do.
But it also raises some concerns about data privacy and security.
Right.
Who has access to all this data that our cars are collecting?
That's a valid question.
Yeah, and how can we ensure that it's being used responsibly?
Those are valid concerns.
Yeah.
As cars become more connected, they also become more vulnerable to cyber attacks.
Right.
So it's essential for automakers and technology providers to prioritize cybersecurity and to be transparent with consumers about how they're collecting and using data.
Couldn't agree more. Transparency is key. That's a really good point. We need to be mindful of the potential risks as we embrace these exciting possibilities of connected cars.
We do.
But speaking of exciting possibilities, there's one more area I want to touch on before we wrap up this part of our deep dive.
Okay, what's that?
The human-machine interface.
Okay.
As cars become more complex and feature-rich, it's becoming increasingly important to design interfaces that are intuitive, user-friendly, and even enjoyable to use.
Ah, yes, the HMI.
It's often overlooked.
It is, but it's a critical part of the user experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No one wants to spend their time fumbling with confusing menus or struggling to figure out how to use a feature.
No, they don't.
A well-designed HMI can make all the difference
Mm-hmm.
between a car that feels intuitive and enjoyable to drive and one that feels frustrating and overwhelming.
Absolutely.
And as cars become more automated, the HMI will become even more important.
Right.
We'll need to trust the technology.
We will.
And that trust will depend in part on how well we can interact with it.
I completely agree. The future of automotive HMI will likely involve a seamless blend of voice-controlled gesture recognition and augmented reality,
Wow.
creating an immersive and intuitive experience for drivers.
That sounds incredible. I can't wait to see what the future holds for car interfaces.
Me too.
But for now, we'll have to hit the brakes on this part of our deep dive.
Indeed, we've covered a lot of ground in this segment.
We have.
From the potential of quantum computing and the rise of connected cars to the importance of sustainability and the evolving human-machine interface. The world of automotive semiconductors is overflowing with innovation and possibilities.
It's been an amazing journey so far.
It has.
And we're not done yet.
No, we're not.
Stay tuned for part 3 of our deep dive, where we'll wrap up our exploration of this fascinating and ever-evolving industry. You know, it's incredible to think about how much innovation is packed into those tiny little chips.
It really is.
We've gone from just basic electronic functions to AI-powered systems in what feels like the blink of an eye.
The pace of change is truly remarkable. And as you said, it's all happening within these tiny, incredibly complex semiconductors.
It's mind-boggling. When I think about the future of automotive, it's clear that software and semiconductors are going to be just as important as like the physical hardware of the car itself.
Oh, absolutely.
We're not just talking about horsepower and torque anymore.
Right.
We're talking about processing power and algorithms.
I completely agree. We're already seeing that shift happening. Traditional automakers are having to rethink their entire business models to keep up with the pace of technological innovation.
Yeah, they have to.
They're partnering with tech companies, investing in software development, and even acquiring semiconductor startups.
So it's not just about building better engines and transmissions anymore.
Right.
It's about developing these sophisticated software platforms
Yes.
and integrating those with cutting-edge semiconductor technology.
Ex-
It's about creating a seamless, intelligent, and connected driving experience.
That's exactly right. And the companies that can do that effectively are going to be the ones that succeed in this new era of automotive. We're going to see some unexpected winners and losers in the years to come.
It's like the Wild West out there,
It is.
with everyone scrambling to stake their claim in this new frontier.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, we're seeing tech giants like Tesla and Google making major inroads into the automotive space,
Right.
bringing their expertise in software and AI to the table.
Absolutely. And then you have companies like NVIDIA who've successfully transformed themselves from graphics card manufacturers
Right.
to providers of essential automotive computing platforms.
Exactly.
They're the ones powering those self-driving systems and advanced AI features we talked about earlier.
It's a fascinating time to be watching this industry.
It is.
The lines between traditional sectors are blurring,
They are.
and new players are emerging all the time. It's a dynamic and disruptive landscape, and it's only going to get more interesting from here.
Absolutely. But let's bring it back to the consumer for a moment.
Okay.
All this innovation sounds amazing,
Yeah.
but how will it actually translate into a better driving experience for everyday people?
That's the key question, right?
Yeah,
What does it all mean for the person behind the wheel?
exactly.
What are the tangible benefits they can expect to see?
Well, I think one of the most exciting areas is personalization.
Okay.
As cars become more connected and intelligent,
Mm-hmm.
they'll be able to learn our preferences and adapt to our individual needs.
Okay.
Imagine a car that automatically adjusts the seat temperature,
Oh, nice.
music, and driving settings based on your personal profile.
It would be like having a car that truly knows you,
Yes.
anticipating your needs and preferences before you even have to ask.
Right.
It's like having a personal assistant on wheels.
Exactly. And that's just the beginning.
Okay, there's more.
We'll see features like personalized navigation routes that take into account your favorite coffee shops or charging stations,
Okay, I like that.
and cars that can even anticipate your mood
Whoa.
and adjust the ambient lighting and music accordingly.
That's next level.
It is. It sounds like our cars are going to become extensions of ourselves,
Yeah,
reflecting our personalities and catering to our individual needs.
absolutely.
It's a level of personalization we've never seen before.
And it's all made possible by those incredible advancements in semiconductor technology.
It is.
Those chips are the brains behind all these intelligent features.
Yeah, absolutely.
So personalization is one big trend. What else can we expect to see in the future of automotive? What other areas are ripe for innovation?
Well, safety is another area where we can expect to see significant progress.
Oh, sure.
As cars become more autonomous,
Hmm.
they'll be able to communicate with each other and with the infrastructure around them, sharing information about their speed, location, and intentions. This will allow them to avoid accidents and make our roads much safer.
So we're talking about a future where traffic accidents are virtually eliminated.
That's the ultimate goal.
Wow.
Of course, it's going to take time to get there,
Sure.
but the technology is advancing rapidly.
Yeah.
And with the help of sophisticated semiconductors, we're well on our way.
That's a future I can definitely get behind. I think we'd all be happy to say goodbye to traffic jams and fender benders.
I think so too. And beyond safety,
Yeah.
there's also the potential for increased efficiency.
Okay.
As cars become more connected, they'll be able to optimize their routes and driving styles to reduce fuel consumption and emissions.
So not only will our cars be safer, they'll also be more environmentally friendly.
Exactly.
It sounds like a win-win all around.
It is.
Mm.
And this is where the convergence of electrification and semiconductor technology is going to be so powerful.
Yeah.
Electric vehicles are already inherently more efficient than gas-powered cars. But with the help of advanced semiconductors, we can take that efficiency to a whole new level.
So imagine a world where transportation is not only safer and more personalized, but also much more sustainable.
Yeah.
A world where cars are no longer a major source of pollution and where traffic accidents are a thing of the past.
Wow.
It sounds almost too good to be true.
It's a bold vision, but it's one that I believe is within our reach. And it's all thanks to those tiny but mighty semiconductors.
Well said.
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm feeling pretty optimistic about the future of automotive after this deep dive.
Me too.
It's exciting to think about all the possibilities that lie ahead.
It is an exciting time to be alive, and it's only going to get more exciting as these technological advancements continue to unfold.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this episode of the deep dive.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the fundamentals of automotive semiconductors to the far-reaching implications for the future of transportation.
We have.
We've talked about electrification, smartification, connectivity, sustainability, and so much more.
It's been a pleasure exploring this topic with you.
Likewise. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you've gained some valuable insights into the fascinating world of automotive semiconductors. We
Absolutely.
encourage you to stay curious and engaged as these technologies continue to shape our world.
We'll see you next time.
Until next time, keep on diving deep